Thanks for joining us. The 165 million ton main face slide was a defining moment in the history of Kennecott, Utah Copper's Bingham Canyon mine. Since April 10th, our employees have worked in a singular effort to accelerate our recovery progress. And I'm here today to say thank you and how incredibly proud I am of their achievements. Before the main face slide, and as we began our response, we used a phrase to talk about how we wanted to behave. We asked our entire workforce to rise to the occasion, and they have done just that. Over the past 6 months, they've worked together in employee-led teams, tireless hours. They've continued to look for new and innovative improvements. They've generated many ideas on how we can work more efficiently, and they've never backed down from a challenge. So I say thank you for what you've achieved, and I encourage you to keep up the efforts. Over these past months, we have also received incredible cooperation from government, local officials, our local community, suppliers, and our contractors. To all of you, I'd also like to say thank you. Without your support, there is no way that we could have reached this critical milestone. We have had a tremendous amount of success in a short period of time in our recovery efforts, but we also recognize that this is just one milestone and we have a tremendous amount of work ahead of us. To talk a little bit more about what's been achieved to date, I'd like to point to the main face slide just behind me. We've moved over 14 million tons from the top and sides of that failure in an effort to return this area to a safe configuration for our miners. As you will notice, we have removed our damaged truck shop that was damaged in the slide event, and we have began to recover our equipment. To date, we've recovered 10 of the 13 haul trucks, and 4 have been placed back in service. As part of our remediation efforts, we've also purchased a number of pieces of equipment: dozers, excavators, shovels, and loaders. And much of that equipment, over 20 pieces, has come with remote-controlled equipment. This remote-controlled equipment has been a centerpiece to our remediation efforts. With that remote-controlled equipment, we've been able to work in the remediation areas on the tops and on the sides without putting miners at risk. Their ingenuity, their tireless work has allowed us to remediate the slide safely. To give you some example, our employees through the hot summer months, in the wind and in sometimes the rain, worked over 19,000 hours with this remote controlled equipment to help us complete the remediation efforts. And as you're aware, 17 days after the main face slide, we began delivering ore to the concentrator, and we have continued that delivery uninterrupted since then. Most importantly, all of this work and these critical milestones have been completed without a single injury during the remediation efforts. So I'd like to say again, congratulations to our employees and our contractors that have worked so hard to make this milestone a reality. To focus just a little bit more on why we're here today, the opening of the mine access ramp, I'd like to talk a little bit about what it's taken to achieve this milestone. The mine access ramp is our lifeblood. It is not unfair to compare it to the I-15 corridor right through the Salt Lake Valley. On this ramp, we move supplies, fuel, tires, components, people, as well as our haul trucks, shovels, power, to operate the mine. It is critical to our safe and productive operations. When this ramp was cut in the main face slide event, we anticipated that it would take until the first quarter of 2014 to repair the ramp. Today, we've achieved that milestone almost 6 months ahead of schedule, a tremendous achievement. There are many standout records that occurred during the construction. To talk about just a few of those, to give you some idea about the repair and construction process itself, our employees moved over 6 million tons, dumped over 2.2 million tons to build the road across the slide mass. It's over 3/4 of a mile long and 150 feet wide. During that time, we've had employee-led groups that have found new and innovative ways to make our operation more efficient. Some examples are a new digging pattern that allowed us to reduce the time it takes to load trucks by 40%. And in our maintenance shops, they've now reduced the time it was taking them to change tires from 8 hours to under 3 hours. As part of the construction process, our employees removed over 1,900 vertical feet of material along the slide face. That's the equivalent of stacking 3 of Seattle's Space Needles on top of one another. And again, most importantly, this remediation was completed without a single injury, and it was completed safely. Today's opening of the mine access road marks a major milestone in our recovery. However, we understand there are many challenges ahead of us as we look to return to normal operations by 2016. We appreciate your interest in our progress, in our milestones, and in our records completed to date, and we look forward to celebrating the successes that we will have over the coming years as we look to bring the operation back to normal operations. Thank you for coming to celebrate with us today. Thank you very much.